Well, Donald Trump signed an order for the United States to exit the World Health Organization, which he had previously attacked over its COVID response. Signing the order at the White House, Trump said the United States was unfairly paying less than China into the UN body and added, World Health ripped us off.
We paid $500 million to World Health when I was here, and I terminated it. China with 1.4 billion people. We have 350 to pay. Nobody knows what we have because so many people came in illegally, but let's say we have 325. They had 1.4 billion. They were paying 39 million, we were paying 500 million. It seemed a little unfair to me. So that wasn't the reason, but I dropped out. They offered me to come back for 39 million. In theory, it should be less than that, but you know. And when Biden came back, they came back for 500 million. He knew that you could have come back for 39 million. They wanted us back so badly, so we'll see what happens. Not when you're being ripped off like we are by the World Health. World Health ripped us off. Everybody rips off the United States, and that's it. It's not going to happen anymore.
Well, Trump has pardoned about 1,500 participants in the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol by his supporters trying to overturn the 2020 election. Trump said that 6 defendants would have their sentences shortened. The move fulfilled a campaign promise by Trump to 8 supporters who were charged and in many cases imprisoned for crimes committed during the riot, a failed attempt to stop the congressional certification of Democrat Joe Biden's 2020 election victory.
So this is January 6th. These are the hostages, approximately 1,500 for a pardon. We have about 6 commutations in there where we're doing further research.
Well, Trump also signed an executive order seeking to delay by 75 days the enforcement of a ban of popular short video app Tik Tok that was slated to be shuttered on January 19th. Trump said the U.S. should get 50% of ownership of the platform.
Just gave me the right to sell it or close it. Essentially with TikTok, I have the right to either sell it or close it. And we'll make that determination. And we may have to get an approval from China too, I'm not sure. But I'm sure they'll approve it. And if they don't approve it, it would be somewhat of a hostile act, I think. But it's
Well, Trump also signed an executive order requiring federal workers return to the office full-time. The measure was one of several executive orders Trump signed during a public event at an arena in Washington attended by thousands of his supporters. The measure requires employees to return to work in person at their respective duty stations on a full-time basis, provided that the department and agency heads shall make exemptions they deem necessary. Trump also revoked a 2023 executive order signed by Joe Biden that sought to reduce the risks that artificial intelligence poses to consumers, workers, and national security. Well, a number of other orders were also signed in front of supporters inside the arena in Washington, D.C. The orders included the rescission of 78 Biden-era executive actions, a freeze on all federal hiring, accepting the military and a number of other excluded categories until full control of the government is achieved. Also, a regulatory freeze preventing bureaucrats from issuing any more regulations. A directive to every department and agency in the federal government to address the cost of living. Also, a directive to the federal government ordering the restoration of freedom of speech and preventing government censorship of free speech. A directive to the federal government ending the weaponization of government against the political adversaries of the previous administration. Well, U.S. President Donald Trump signed an executive action to create an advisory group called the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. The advisory group, being run by Tesla CEO Elon Musk, is aimed at eliminating entire federal agencies and cutting 3/4 of federal government jobs. Trump tapped a billionaire entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy to head Department of Government Efficiency alongside Musk, but Ramaswamy has reportedly decided to step aside and run instead for governor of the Midwestern state of Ohio. And for more, we have Anil Thomas joining us. Well, Anil, a series of executive orders was signed by Donald Trump in the first round, and he said, and I quote, "Our sovereignty will be reclaimed, our safety will be restored, the scales of justice will be rebalanced. Sunlight is pouring over the entire world, and America has the chance to seize this opportunity like never before." Could you elaborate on this and the possible implications as his policies will be potentially transformational?
Well, good morning, Lipakshi. Well, very much, Trump sticking to the dream of America first, that was a part of his political campaign, extending it, especially in the first day, his first day as president, the presidential order that he's brought about, clearly indicative of taking forward all the things that he's promised, putting pen to paper, rubber on the road, if one may say, to put it in the Texas way. When it comes to delivering the promises that he's made. And I think he's stuck his neck out. Remember, we've seen Trump 1.0. It was a bit unconventional. It was a bit different. So people can expect, what Trump will bring to the table. But this time around, he also seems to be bold and aggressive in his approach, especially the first day as he took oath. He seemed to be multidimensional. He's looking at not repeating the mistakes that he's made. And his first move, especially when it comes to, cancelling the orders that the Biden administration has given. One, withdrawing from the Paris Climate Accord. And also with regards to the soft stance that he's taken on TikTok, clearly leaves, Trump and the world, Trump's, decisions and the world's view to it, pretty mixed. If you see Trump's especially strong stance on pulling out of the Paris Climate Accord, looking at more of drilling that America would see, the energy crisis that the world and America in particular faces. So clearly it's indicative of something different and something that Americans need to look forward to first, to tame inflation, secondly to bring down the cost of living. That has been primary concern of Trump administration, and I think he looks forward to take that forward. On a world perspective, yes, it leaves the world very much on the edge when it comes to what to expect. The first presidential order does not make much mention of tariffs because he's promised 10% to 60% of tariff. That's not at least pen on paper when it comes to that particular decision. But we'll have to wait and watch. Trump has been a bit unpredictable even in his in his first term as president. You don't expect things to change, especially when it comes to the awe factor that he brings to the table. And I think we will. It's still not there, especially on the immigration as well as on the trade tariffs. But we can expect it to come in the next few days.
Right, Anil. Also, the stock market analysts are expecting many sweeping changes in the energy sector on withdrawal from the Paris Agreement. What do you have to say about that?
Well, at least the first impact that, the presidential or Trump taking over as president, you've seen a drop in the oil prices, though not significant, but there has been a slight dip in the oil prices. And I think one thing that the world needs to look forward to is what does Trump bring to the table now? It could be disruptive. Some experts say it could be disruptive, but I think America first will also, be somewhere Trump understands the importance of taking the world along. You can make America first, but you also need to take the world along. And I think that's what will be even more significant, especially from the Trump administration. You'll have to, walk the talk in the first place. And also you will have to handhold the world. Remember, it's the world's largest economy, and it's also got the geopolitical coin, especially when it comes to decisions on that America takes that impacts the world. So having said that, they know that how powerful they are. Trump knows that he's got the backing of the Senate and the Congress, especially when it comes to two houses there in America, the Congress in America. And he clearly knows that the responsibilities that is there on the shoulder. So it's taking forward things that were left unfinished, especially when it comes to the decision that he's taken on TikTok. If one clearly looks at that particular decision on TikTok, that He's spoken about a leeway that's been given. See, there has been almost 9 months since, there's been a Congress decision, especially on, buy it or sell it kind of a deal that was there. There are still no takers for TikTok. And ByteDance, the company that owns TikTok, has clearly not been also receptive to the idea of selling it. But having said that, Trump has found a middle way. He's given them a window. He's spoken about 50% of the sale, or 50% of the stake coming to an American or one of the tech wizards. It's clearly, he set the ball rolling, especially when it comes to how the decisions are going to be, how the decisions are going to some kind of leeway where, no player on the table is feeling somewhere left out or cheated. And I think that leaves all the countries looking forward to America, or the decisions that America is going to bring forward, whether in terms of tariffs, whether in terms of immigration, with a lot of hope. Remember, countries would have A, B, C, D plans looking at the Trump administration. But his stance has been aggressive, but it's been on the home front, not on the international front. We'll have to wait and watch how that particular international, especially, harsh step that he's spoken about on the international fronts, is he going to take it? And if he takes it, what's the middle path that he finds?
Absolutely, Anil. He set the ball rolling. Thank you so much for all those details.